Hey everybody, it's Dove Hammer here, and I am back at you with another harmonica tutorial. Today I'd like to talk to you about improving your solos, not improving them in the technical sense, but a way of thinking about solos that'll make them more meaningful. Here's just a few tips that I can think of because they all stem from one basic idea. The basic idea is that music is communicating. When you're playing music, it's like you're telling a story. You're talking to somebody. So think about that. Think about that when you play, because imagine how you'd have a conversation with somebody. Listen to how I'm talking to you. When you tell a story, you want to make it interesting. You leave pauses for to build suspense. You change your intonation. Some things sound like a question. Some things sound like an answer. Some things you say louder because they're more important. Some things you say louder because you're angry. Some things you say a little bit softer because they're more delicate or because you want to keep suspense. There's all kind of ways, and playing music is the exact same thing. I'm telling a story here. Now, how does this translate into specific things, specific ideas I can use when I'm soloing? Well, here's a few things. First of all, there's a very famous, I don't even know who said this once, but it's something along the lines of, if you can sing it, you can play it. Or maybe it's the opposite. If you can't sing it, you can't play it. Which means basically, don't overcomplicate things. Remember that you're trying to tell a story. If I can go ba-da-ba-ba, then I can go, something, a tune that'll get into somebody's head. Now, not everything has to be that simple, but you'll notice, you've probably seen certain clips of great musicians. I think Jimi Hendrix sometimes did it, where they play a guitar and they sing along with what they're playing because it's possible to. So you want to play something that sounds like you're singing. A harmonica is really an instrument that sounds very much like the human voice. For great harmonica players like Sonny Boy Williamson, for example, it always sounds like, when you can't tell when he stops singing and he starts playing, because the harmonica is really a continuation of his singing. So that's, it's like singing. Don't overcomplicate things. Try to tell a story. Here's another one that's very practical that you can think about easily. Leave space. You don't have to play 100% of the time. That's certainly true when you're accompanying someone while the singer's playing. If the drummer stops or if the bass player stops, there's a hole in the music. But if the harmonica player stops, nothing bad happens. Actually, something good might happen. But when you're soloing, it's true too. Leave some space. Sometimes I'll start off with a short phrase and then I'll pause for a beat or two just to get people listening. It does that. It leaves some tension there. Wait, what's going to happen next? You can do that, particularly at the beginning of the solo. Later on, this leads us to tip number 2. You build up. So I'll start off with something soft or simple or slow. Then I might make a pause. Then I'll repeat it again a little bit louder, a little bit more complex, build up on it. By the end of the solo, I'm going to be pounding away hard. That's the thing. If you start off your solo from the first bar going at your full maximum speed, your heart is playing, you got nowhere to go. You start off softly, you can build up. These rules are not 100% true all the time. It's music. Music is art. And you might have heard this before. In art, rules are made to be broken, but they serve a purpose and helps to give you ideas how to build things. You might find yourself in a situation where you don't want to do these things. For example, let's just say I'm playing a very fast blues song, an up-tempo blues shuffle, and I know that I only have a 12-bar solo. That's very short, particularly in an up-tempo song. So I don't have the time to start building up to it. What I want to do is hit as hard as I can right away, get people's attention, and get out of there. Okay? So certain times these rules won't fit, but for the most part, they're good rules that'll help you think of ideas. So we said, you want to keep it simple where you can sing it. You want to leave some space, some breathing room, so it's not too... If you play too much, if you play a long solo which has no pauses, as fast as you can, let's say you have a great technique and you can play really fast, it grates on people's ears after a while. They stop hearing it. Imagine someone talking to you with no pauses. Imagine somebody talking to you in a monotone where his voice doesn't go up and down, straight monotone, no change of the voice, no change of inflection, no change of speed, without any break. You'd go crazy. You wouldn't be able to listen to this person. think of your playing that way too. Change your dynamics, go louder, softer, take a breath, take a step back, jump in, push harder. These things make it more fun to listen to, more interesting to listen to. Leave some tension. Tension can manifest itself in all kinds of ways. Sometimes I'll start from an unexpected note. Everybody expects you to start from, okay, or from like from the 1 or from the 5. Sometimes I'll start from the flat third just to be fun. I'll go, and then I'll stop. Okay, leave it something like that that demands some closure. You do a phrase like that, everybody's waiting to see what will happen next. You can't leave it at that. So, I go, and then I'll have to do something like, okay, there, I brought closure at the end, and I pulled out some of my big guns, flashed a little technique, had some fun, but I started off leaving people, wondering what's going to happen next. So these are some fun techniques that you can use, and they don't even demand great technique. They just demand that you think about how you play your solo, think about it as communicating, try to make it interesting, try to make it sometimes a little bit unexpected. And it doesn't always have to be long. Some of the best solos in the world are short, 12 bars, 24 bars. Think of the greatest, or man who's considered the greatest blues harmonica player ever, the father of electric blues harmonica, Little Walter. I challenge you to find a long Little Walter solo. Go through all Little Walter's best recordings. Most of the solos are 12 bars. Some of them are 2 rounds, 24 bars. You won't find anything almost that's longer than that. Maybe in live it was different, because live is different than on record. But listen to how he builds those solos. In 12 bars, he says so much that he doesn't need to go any further. Sometimes it's 24, but then it's like a masterpiece. So you don't have to play a long solo. You can play something good, tasteful, and get out of there before you start noodling. Then you leave people with a taste of, wow, that was a great solo. That, say something with it. So think about these things. Play something you can sing. Leave some space. Build some tension. Don't overplay. Build up. So I hope you found these tips useful. And if you did, then I would be very happy if you pushed the like button down there. I'd be even more happy if you subscribe to this channel, because I have lots of good stuff on this channel. I've got, besides these harmonica lessons, I also have live recordings from my shows, a lot of my music, good stuff on here. So subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or requests, if you want me to do a harmonica tutorial on a particular subject that interests you, or questions about what I'm talking about here, write them in the comments section down there. I promise to answer every single comment that you write. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.